I'm going to tell you I was sent something to read about our speaker, and as he knows me very well, I'm not going to do it. There are people in your life that are there for a reason, a season, and a lifetime, and I'm going to say just a couple things. Our speaker today, Pierre Paul, is unwavering determination, and I'll explain. Our speaker is passionate. When you understand his background, I'll explain. And our speaker inspires me every single day. Pierre and I met several years ago in our journey at Bradley University. He's an alumni, as am I. And I had the honor of being his mentor. And today I have the honor of calling him my friend. We often say that we're twinsies, and it's been awesome. But let me give you a little background about my friend Pierre. He was born in Brazil and spent much of his years in Ghana. And when he immigrated to the U.S., he was met with extreme poverty, xenophobia, and racism. But those challenges shaped him. Are you ready? In this unwavering determination to ensure inclusivity and empowerment for all individuals. He's an overachiever. He's focusing right now on being a PhD student in disability studies. He received his master's degree in nonprofit leadership in 2021, and he holds a D&I certificate from Cornell University. When we were working together, I had to pause and ask him just take a little break. So what he went and did is he went and did a play, and of course he got a leading role, and then he started singing. Yeah, that would be Pierre. Armed with his knowledge and his expertise, he became an established and respected speaker and trainer. You're going to find that out. And he has conducted more diversity and inclusion workshops for various organizations across the United States. Driven? Just a little bit. By his experience and his immigrant journey into the U.S., he established We Hear You. And it's a company focused on just creating access technology for individuals whose concerns often go unheard. And what's behind me is this 4-way test, and I will tell you, my friend Pierre follows this and exudes it. And I hope you will join me in welcoming our speaker today, Pierre Paul.
Oh my. Good afternoon, everyone. What an amazing introduction, and I love sitting here listening to everything you all are doing. Does the agenda say specifically what I'm going to be doing today?
Tap dancing.
Okay, perfect. Well, if that's the case. All right, lovely. I'm gonna go a little off script if there is no script. Let's turn this as well. Can you all hear me if I project?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Do you want a mic? A hand mic?
We have a hand.
Yes, I'll have one just in case. And so I'm turning this for the individuals on Zoom. Thank you so much. The waves thrash my body from side to side. The more I fight to resurface, the more the merciless salty water forces me back under. This was a fight against Mother Nature herself. They say that hell has no fury like a woman scorned, and let me tell you, she was furious. Looking back, maybe I drank from one too many plastic water bottles back in the day. Maybe I peed on one too many trees with my friends, but either way, I was losing this battle, and I was reminded that she was the master of the elements, and only by her grace would I see another day. As I'm ready to give up and lose this fight, I hear a voice that splits my thoughts as I can only imagine Moses did the Red Sea. A feminine and powerful voice, as if Rosie the Riveter were speaking herself. The words that gave me the power to win this fight, you ask? Stand up, Pierre, you're only in 2 feet of water. Hey, in my defense, I was told by my parents, don't step foot in water until you learn how to swim. This was like Neil Armstrong walking on the moon. I was in uncharted waters, and I was taking a stand, metaphorically. Looking back, I've often asked myself, why has this become such a core memory to me? And it's not because I almost died that day. Instead, it's because my 6th grade teacher was able to change my perspective by introducing a new one. Perspective, defined by the Cambridge Dictionary as a particular viewpoint shaped by lived experiences and our environment. I'll give you an example. Think about the idiom. Is the glass half empty or half full? What do we think?
Half full.
Half full. Half full? I should not be surprised in a room of Rotarians that it's the glass half full. Fair enough. I propose another thought. The glass can be refilled, right? We spend so much time thinking about whether or not the glass is half empty or half full that we often forget that the glass can be refilled because the liquids that we use to fill a glass are often in abundance. So with that, I'm here to begin this presentation in a bit of a unique way, talking about perspective and how to increase and allow ourselves to immerse ourselves in new perspectives. And then I'll jump into a bit of my journey, a bit of the work that I do with my company, and really just open up to some questions and interactions. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, love the energy of this crowd. So first and foremost, we have to realize that we are not entitled to comfortability just because it's familiar. That's the first step. Most things that we get to enjoy, whether it's in this room or outside of this room, happen because at some point in history, people fought discomfort to make things comfortable. From the women's suffrage movement to the civil rights movement to closed captionings on televisions. This wasn't always the case to ensure that we could enjoy all of those things. So that's step one. Become comfortable within reason, because when you do that, you're allowed to not only see your current perspective, but you see perspectives of the past and shape the perspectives of the future. Secondly, we need to embrace a yes and mentality. Yes and thinking comes from, the premise is simple. One introduces an idea to another improviser and they accept it. The yes. From there, they add to it. The and. Don't get me wrong. Unlike an improv comedy, in real life there are bad ideas. So please do not go accepting everyone's ideas, but instead adopt Aristotle's philosophy, which states, the mark of an intelligent person is to entertain a thought without accepting it as their own. This quotation has been drastically oversimplified over the years, but what is actually being spoken about here is the concept that we have to act as unbiased sponges, soaking in so much information and being able to say, yes, I can see how this could be true, and I want to add in a new piece of information because we have become good scholars of all pieces of the puzzle. It should never be whether you accept one side of the argument or the other, but how can I accept all sides of the arguments to then engage in a conversation, right? And that's what it boils down to. So when you find yourself struggling and drowning, I need you to remember, it's only 2 feet of water. All right. Hello, everyone. Oh, I heavily feed off of the energy in a room whenever I have to give a speech or get the privilege to give a speech. And the room that I was being given based on the accolades that you all were speaking about that you've accomplished this year, that you all have accomplished in years prior, hearing the students come up here and talk about the work that they were doing and the legacies that you want to leave behind as you propel yourself into the future to be future Rotarians. I felt empowered to give a brief speech that I've been working on perspective in a room full of individuals who see so much further beyond themselves and see diverse perspectives. So I appreciate you all entertaining that. I need to keep track of time. I have a bad habit of going over. So my name is Pierre Paul, and I am honored and privileged to be here in Peoria, Illinois. I'll tell you guys, I drove in from Kansas because I had another meeting in Kansas, then I had a meeting in Peoria this morning. So I always love my opportunity to be here in Peoria. And as you heard, I was born in Brazil, grew up in Guyana, and then moved to Ohio of all places. Ooh, different. But with that, the challenges helped shape my perspective and helped me grow into wanting to change the world. And so the ways that I found to change the world is through the creation of a company called We Hear You, and actually a separate company called Hands Free. And what we do is we create technology to help all people, but specifically those with various disabilities and exceptionalities. Right, so I heard a lot of individuals in the room. I heard individuals from the Aging Foundation here in Peoria in the room, and a couple other amazing organizations. We are just trying to make a difference because that's what it boils down to. So I'm going to go through a bit of a presentation. I'm not a big slides person, but I know images do help. And so we revolutionize accessibility. Disclaimer, our lawyers have us put it on there, blah, 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 don't steal anything. And We Hear You. We believe that diversity and inclusion should never be the afterthought of innovation, right? It should always be the foundation. Meaning that as we build with the diverse people around us in mind, we will always build up. We will always build together. We will always build in the right direction. And so we identified a couple problems. The first invention that we created was a sign language translator. And we identified that there are over 72 million deaf individuals worldwide. And the reason that I decided to invent a sign language translator, it's a unique story. I still got a little bit of time, so I'll tell a bit of the story. One night, I was trying to solve world hunger. Very sad to report I have not solved world hunger, but I solved my hunger, and thank you. And I came across a chat room talking about how difficult it is for deaf individuals to order coffee. And I realized I didn't have that perspective because people in my immediate circle weren't deaf. So I started doing research, and I realized that people had attempted to solve this problem. They created really fancy gloves and really fancy cameras, but the cameras were like 10K and the gloves were like 5K, and I was like, this isn't reasonable. So I fell asleep that night, and I had a dream. The dream is not as profound as you think. I was walking into a McDonald's, and I knew sign language in my dream, and there was just a tablet on the counter. And so I signed my order into the tablet on the counter, and then it verbalized it for the hearing associate behind the counter, and then it signed to me what the associate said. I woke up the next morning and I contacted my best friend, who's actually now the COO. She's in the back there, just snuck in incognito. That's Bethany. Bethany, wave to the audience, please. Contacted Bethany and said, hey, B, I have this crazy idea. And she said, let's do it. And then she started asking a series of questions. There were why questions. And the answer became, because we hear you. That is why we do the work that we do, because we hear you. So we got started building one of the first commercially available sign language translators, realized that there was an employment gap because of the barriers to enter into the workplace. And so we just dug even deeper. Notice that there is the income disparity, there's the education disparity because of these barriers, and we just kept moving and working. And I think this was initially a video, but it is okay because I'll just talk it through. And what we invented was a sign language translator that could take sign language in real time. So hello, my name, and it would translate it once you had the software on our system. We built it, COVID hit, and just to bring it all into perspective, I got my bachelor's in political science, was planning on going to law school, decided to get a master's instead. And throughout this process, I didn't know I was an entrepreneur. So I reached out to who else? I reached out to Becky and I said, hey, I have these crazy ideas. I need some support. I need some guidance. And my superhero gave me the super strength that I needed to grow and build with this community. So we created the sign language translator. We launched it. COVID hit. Things changed. My team was like, P, what are we going to do? The world is shutting down. And I said, we're going to keep working. Right? We're going to keep working through it. We're going to take this time where everything's at a standstill and we're going to keep moving forward until we get to fast forward. And this video showcases us doing full gesture recognition of various different signs. And we just finished, as of yesterday, a pilot program with Air Emirates, where our sign language translator was put on a robot and rovered around the airport in Dubai to help deaf customers as they maneuver through the airport. And that was, thank you so much. And that's us. We Hear You, a company cultivated on Bradley University's campus, a company that is still incorporated here in Illinois, here in Peoria, that has been able to make these headways because of the belief, because of grit, because of having perspective of the world around us. And so we made sure that we didn't stop there, because I didn't just want We Hear You to be a one-trick pony. I knew that we had more in us, and we still have so much more in us. I'm 25. I got a lot of life left. All of you got a lot of life left, and I can see it in the work that you're still doing to this day. So moving forward, we identified another problem. Over 1.3 billion individuals worldwide have accessibility problems. Individuals having the accessibility problems isn't the problem. Lack of resources to aid these individuals is the problem. So we got building again. And what we noticed, hitting that ADA button, maneuvering out of the swing of the door, or just simply getting to and through the door within that 7 to 13 second window is tough for a lot of people. All right, I see some nods. I know some of you have your hands full and you're like trying to hit the button with your butt, and then you're like trying to like swing around, and it's a mess. So we said, based on the advancements that we've seen in technology, why not create a device that can be worn as a wristband, attached to a plethora of different devices, walkers, wheelchairs, crutches, etc., and make that what we do. Give everyone a personal button to open these doors. So that's what we built. Additionally, some doors aren't ADA compliant. I'm going to talk about that here soon because this morning I got a call that was really good, so I'm going to share some exciting news with you all. So we created Push. The Push device is a physical fob that allows you to open doors from 15 to 20 feet away. So you can press it with your chin, you can press it with your elbow, wherever is needed. We were fortunate that we received an investment from the city of St. Louis that allows us to release the Push app, which will allow individuals to say, hey Siri, open the door for me, right? So it's now taking it that much further, especially since a member of our team has quadriplegia. So she only has movement from the neck up. So we wanted to find a way to take it to that next level. And then coming here soon, we have an invention that is super new. I'm not sure if this meeting is being recorded, but we just started the patent pending process, so I guess it's okay. An invention called the Hero Hinge. We found a way to make a portable hinge that can make any door, from a closet door to a bedroom door to a commercial door, ADA compliant at a much more affordable cost.
Yes.
And that makes me so excited. It makes me so excited to think about it. I know I'm running up against time. More videos here. The Push fob in terms of what it actually looks like for the attachments and how it attaches to different devices. The difference in some of our competitors in terms of what we're able to do in terms of pricing. And as the new inventions come out, we're just going to keep decreasing the pricing, because now we're not in this to make copious amounts of money quickly. We're here to make a difference. And we're here to make a difference in the lives of individuals who sometimes are the afterthought of innovation. Concept of what the Push app will look like that's released later this month. Concepts of the Hero Hinge and the beauty of this product and what we are going to create. Business stuff. Some of my team. I really could have spent this whole presentation talking about my team, right? And I don't expect you to read all of that in this really small font. I apologize. But my team is phenomenal, right? My team is phenomenal. They come from diverse backgrounds. They bring such a unique perspective that helps us learn, grow together. We work, we innovate, we laugh, we love, we cry. All of it comes together. And the team around you, just like the team of Rotarians here, you all have accomplished what you have. You guys reach certain milestones, being able to donate 20K, being able to donate 11K, because you all come together as a team. And that is the beauty of a team. Some of our traction to date, some unique new opportunities haven't even been added yet, but just some of our traction to date. A lot of those are Peoria specific, so we love having those up there. But since moving to St. Louis 6 months ago, a lot has happened, a lot has changed, a lot of growth has occurred. The 100K investment from Arch Grant, thank you. And I know that ending was a little bit rushed because I want to give a bit of a message before we jump into questions. It is always, 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 always the right time to do the right thing, right? If you wait for another moment, or if you sit behind hesitation, or is this me, or should this be me, or why me, you will never choose to act. And I'm saying this in a room full of individuals who have already decided to act. And I am humbled and honored to be standing here before you all talking about the work that I've done as I work in my career to elevate to the level of you all as well. So thank you so much for your time. I'm open to questions. I really appreciate it.
Didn't you present here early on when you were doing the sign language thing?
Did.
So you've mastered, because when you were here before, having the sign language be understood was hard for you.
Yes.
You've mastered it now?
I love that. Yes, I was here. So walking up here, I was, gosh, this is a beautiful nostalgia.
I was here prior, and prior, push was just kind of a concept that was coming out into the world, and the sign language translator, we had very basic, the alphabet being signed, and now we have mastered full gesture recognition, and that does take it to the next level. Thank you so much.
I think everyone can hear me. I think so. So when you gave the scenario about McDonald's,
Yeah.
why would the technology need to sign language back from the employee of McDonald's? Why couldn't that just be converted to text? What's the barrier there?
Love that. Great question. It's a question that we get all the time. So yes, deaf individuals also have the capability to read. Without learning how to phonetically pronounce words the same way that hearing individuals do, that reading comprehension ends up being lower, right? So if you never learn how to phonetically pronounce the words, the reading comprehension is slightly lower. So that delay means that it's more difficult to read a larger paragraph or a shorter paragraph. So that's where the beauty of that reverse translation comes into play. It's meeting them where they are in their natural language, as opposed to kind of forcing the acclimation into reading English text. So that's an amazing question, one that I literally got this morning in one of our bigger meetings that we had this morning for a deal that we have, I can say a deal that we have with Ameren Electric here in Illinois. It was a meeting, and that was one of the questions that came up. And I never want people to feel any negativity about asking that, because you don't know what you don't know. And so that reverse translation just helps meet those individuals where they are in their natural language. Great question. Great question.
Hi. It seems to me that you've been inspired by personal encounters or personal experiences a lot.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, have you had any experiences, or have you recognized any challenges that might be faced by those who are visually impaired?
Absolutely, yes. So the push device is one that has a visual component as well. I did not realize until speaking with an individual on Bradley's campus who was legally blind, how many times she runs into doors, or she has to kind of rely on the kindness because she can't find the button or the handle to the door. So the push device does also allow that to maneuver that way. And our chief sales officer, his father is blind as well. So that component is something that comes into play. Early on, we thought about venturing into kind of a seeing AI. Microsoft released a seeing AI that allows you to kind of pin a phone or pin a camera, and it will read what showcases as it maneuvers that way. And so we've been on the fence in terms of what our role is there, but we are willing to partner and negotiate and work with any organization that has an invention. We don't really turn down great inventions. We're going to be a factory for accessible tech. So if there's something there, you let me know and we'll talk. Thank you.
So my question is this: you're 25 years old.
I am.
You're an entrepreneur.
I am.
You have done a lot. And the part that I ask you is, you know, we have these conversations of what's next and where you're going with it.
Yeah.
Where, knowing that you have been approached from some mega companies to buy and you say, no, not yet.
Yeah.
What is next?
I love it. Great question. Y'all, I could stand up here and tell you all the positives. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm tired. Right? I am tired. But the reason that I do the work that I do is because it is beyond me. So when we have been approached by some of the mega companies who want to buy or lease or license some of the software, but they have a purpose of doing it just for their segment, right? Only for their customers, not the community. That's not the angle that we go. So I am very proud that we have some newer investors in the pipeline right now who are letting us take the lead and take the reins. So what is next is, with the call that I got this morning, or a couple calls I got this morning, but with us moving forward with the Hero Hinge, that not only is going to revolutionize the American Disabilities Act, but it's going to make it so every nation has a way to make doors automatically that don't have a Disability Act. That product that we are moving forward with a patent on is going to solidify, hey, accessibility doesn't have to be a problem, doesn't have to be expensive. And that really is the major focus that we have. And then from there, strategic partnerships. I don't like competition in the sense of business. If we are two companies who care about the same group of people, what sense does it make for us to fight with one another so that somebody doesn't get here or somebody doesn't get there? So the future for me looks like completing this PhD in disability studies so I can better immerse myself in the community. It looks like getting the Hero Hinge onto the market and showcasing the game-changing opportunity that it presents, and more strategic collaboration so that I can continue to build unique technologies, or I can pass it off to the next generation and say, hey, you all can build, believe, create whatever you want because the world is yours. And that is what the future looks like.
I think we have time for one more if anybody has a question.
Make it good, or make it a softball.
Thank you for your presentation. From someone that is a bit disability, not badly, but I thank you for that work that you're doing. It just sounds fantastic. And thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.